Welcome to my course on AI automation powered by n8n. For the last two lessons, we have been building or rather automating a faceless YouTube channel with AI but without writing a single line of code. This is the third and the last lesson where we are going to finish or assemble everything into a single video, publish that video or reel to Instagram as well as YouTube after seeking the approval from the person, which is us, on Telegram, and finally create its backup on our Google Drive. So let's resume where we left in the last lesson. So the task has been finally completed. Now in a similar way we fetch the task details for PyAPI task. We are going to fetch the details of this Creatomate task as well, and for that we have to make an HTTP request call, this time with get as method. So I'm going to use the HTTP node. Let's rename it to call it get final video. In the URL, I'm going to specify the same Creatomate endpoint, and over here I'm going to just drag this ID of the task. Now we are going to select the authentication mechanism, so I can select generic credential type, and since Creatomate works on bearer token authentication, so basically we are going to use the bearer token type over here. So bearer auth, and I've already created the bearer auth for it. If you have to create a new one, you can click on new credential and you can just paste the bearer token over here. And how do you get the bearer token? You can go to your Creatomate platform, and when you are clicking on this use template, clicking on this API integration, you can see the authorization bearer is mentioned over here. You just need to copy this to your clipboard, paste it on a notepad. So you need to copy whatever is mentioned after this word bearer. So this is the token which starts with DB5C86. So when you copy into your notepad, it is going to show the full token which is there. You need to copy that, come back over here. When creating a new bearer auth mechanism, create new credential, paste your bearer token and rename the credentials accordingly. The way I have renamed it to Creatomate bearer auth account. So that's how you can set up the generic auth in n8n so that you can use it again and again in other workflows as well. But if you have to send it in the header, so you can just import it as curl request as we did in the previous Creatomate node where we submitted the task. You can use that method as well and send it as a header. Ultimately, this is also doing the same thing, that it is sending it as a header by attaching that authorization colon bearer and the token, but n8n is doing it behind the scenes. And second thing is that you don't need to copy paste that token again and again into various nodes that I was about to do over here. So I thought of creating a credentials that can be used in this workflow as well as other workflows where I'll be using the Creatomate service. So no query parameters are there. In the headers, we can say that content type equals to application/JSON. And since it's a get type of method, we don't need to specify anything in the body. Let me execute this step, and you can see that the status is succeeded for the task that we have created. And now if we look at the URL over here, this is the video URL that we need. This is where the video has been generated based on the content that we told it to render into the video template that we had created. So now we can download this URL into the n8n using an HTTP request call. So let's go back to the canvas. Let's click on this, add an HTTP request node, just drag this URL over here. We have to just make a get call. No authentication is required. I'm going to rename this as download final video. Now let's execute this, and it is going to return a binary file that is there. So this is the binary data that we have got. We can click on this download button and it is going to download the file. So it has downloaded the file. Let me open and play it for you. So that looks like a video, 35-second video it is there. Let me play it and you can listen to it.
Did you know that ChatGPT can actually help you code? With just a prompt, you can watch it solve tricky programming problems in a matter of seconds. Not just that, it can help brainstorm creative content ideas effortlessly. It even predicts responses like a real conversation pro. I once asked it to write a bio for me, and it absolutely nailed it. Want to learn more hidden tricks of this powerful tool? Hit that subscribe button for the latest AI hacks.
Alright, so you can see the output that it has generated, and remember that we just use the developer versions of the model what it can do with the pro versions, you can just imagine. All you did was adding a topic to the Google Sheet and rest everything was automated for you. Now it is time that we have this video available. We should first upload it to our cloud storage so that we can archive it for our own purposes. Whether you want to schedule it or not, you can decide later. Second thing, we are going to show how to publish this video that we got just generated by seeking an approval from the user and publishing it to the Instagram. Third thing is, similar way you can publish the post to YouTube Shorts as well. So let's go ahead and publish these videos on our social media platforms so that the entire workflow is fully automated. So let's go back and automate that part as well. So now I'm going to click on the canvas. Let's save our progress that we have so far. Let's go back a couple of notes, and when we created or submitted this task, let's pin this data as well so that we don't execute this node again accidentally. Let's deactivate this as well for time being. And again, I can open this as well and pin this data too. I cannot pin this data because it has the binary output. So we are going to leave it as is. As I told you, first thing we are going to add a Google Drive node. And we are going to upload a file. So I'm going to click on this. The account is selected. Resources file operation is upload. Input data field name is going to be data, which is there. For the file name, we can say that shorts video underscore, and we can specify the ID. If I go to the JSON over here, maybe we can specify this ID over here. Let's just delete this space. So this is going to be the shorts underscore video underscore the ID of the task of the create-to-mate. You can go back to previous notes as well and use the title of the video or topic of the video that you had given. In the parent drive, I'm going to select my drive. In the parent folder, I'm going to go over and select this capstone project over here. This is where this file will get uploaded. Let's execute the step. So it looks like our file is successfully uploaded. Let me click on this link. And over here you can see that shorts underscore video and the ID of the video. It seems that we missed to add the extension. So let's go back and add the extension .mp4. So now the file will be .mp4 format. Let's go back, first delete this file. Let's delete this and then come back over here. Now execute this step. Now let's go back again and the file is over here. Now if I double click over it, you can see over here that Google Drive is suggesting this file is being still processed for playback. So the file has been archived. So now ideally I should be notified. Also, we had to update the sheet status as well. So we are going to go back to our canvas. First, we are going to add the Google Sheet over here. So let's add it. We have to update the row in the sheet. So we are going to click on that. And we are going to go back all the way to the original sheet where we have fetched the topic manually. So we fetched the topic manually in this part, but let's first configure the rest of the parameters on this node. Let's first rename it to update video status. Let's click on rename. Let's keep the credential as is. Resource is sheet within the document. Operation is update row. Document, we are going to select AI content generation. This is the sheet that we wanted to select. So if I click on it, map each column manually, we had to select the column to match on. If I open this node again, it's the video number that we have to operate upon. So I'm going to select the video number. What video number to compare? So this is the video number that we want to compare. It is also suggesting unpin node, get final video and execute. Let me go back. Let me unpin this data over here and let's come back. It is asking me to execute it again. Okay, so video status has been updated. What it updated, I don't know, because we did not specify anything to be updated. However, at least the data now is coming. So you can see the video number is coming. So we are going to delete all this data. And we are only interested in updating the status as well as URL. So for the status, as I go onto that sheet, you can see that the status that I'm maintaining is done, pending, pending, done. So let's go ahead and click on this done. So status is done. URL, we have to specify the URL where the final upload has happened. So this is the URL where the final upload has happened. If I have the access to this particular file, I can open it. This is my account. We don't need to set the anonymous public related permission over here because this is for our own internal use. This is not going to be used by anyone else or accessed by anyone else. So now if I execute this step and we go over here, so you can see that for video number 2, which was 3 hidden features in ChatGPT you didn't know about, the status column K has been updated as well as the video URL has been updated. Now there are two columns which is already in published state. Let me just put them in pending state. This is YouTube status as well as Instagram status. So now we can also publish this video on YouTube as well as Instagram. So let's go ahead and do that. Before going over there, let's notify the user or myself as well. So we can add a Telegram node over here and I'll say send message. Let's rename it to call it notify me on video store. Let's rename this. In the chat ID, I have to mention the chat ID. In the text, we can just say that a new reel or short video has been created, json.video URL. This is the URL we are giving it to the user so that person can click on it. If the person has access to the file, that means if they are logging into their Google Drive account, they will be able to access the URL. Let me also open the Telegram over here. Now let's just execute this step. So you can see that the message has received, a new reel short video has been created and the URL of the video is mentioned over here. So this notification part is done. Let's go back to our workflow, publish the video on social media channels as well. In order to do that, I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to drag it down. Remember, the node execution order is left to right and top to bottom. Ideally, we would like to publish the video on our social media channels and then update or store the video on our Google Drive. That's how it should be done, because then we are marking the complete status of the video in the last branch, which will be the bottommost branch. First thing, let's go ahead and publish the video on Instagram. So for that, let me just bring it up, because this is where we have downloaded the video and rest this flow was basically archival of our final video. So this is where I'm going to add a node of Facebook. So if I search Facebook, so we are going to use the Facebook Graph API. So first thing that you have to do while posting on Instagram is that you have to post it to something called Instagram container, and after the container is published, we publish the container. So it's a two-step process of posting any kind of social media or media content specifically on Instagram. And how we are going to do it, let's go ahead and configure it. So in the credentials, I am going to select the long-term token. If you have not watched my credential videos of how to create Instagram credentials or Facebook credentials for n8n on my YouTube channel, go and watch that video, because that is very important to understand how you create long-term tokens for using Graph API for Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp or Threads. We'll leave the host URL as default. HTTP method we are going to use post over here. Then the Graph API we are going to leave default. Node is not me. This is the node ID of the page that you are going to use for posting on Instagram. So this is your Instagram ID's node ID, and how you can get it is, so if you open up the business portfolio of your account, this is how it would look like. So I have this Devil on Wheels account business portfolio where I have like couple of pages: GenAI, Unplugged, A Monk Abroad, Devil on Wheels, as well as the Instagram accounts are being shown over here where I have Devil on Wheels and GenAI Unplugged. And you can see this ID over here which is ending with 661. This is for GenAI Unplugged 14 account, and then I have this Devil on Wheels as well, which is ending with 41720 account. So this is the node ID that we have to use. So if I come back over here, I have used this ID which is 41720 and this one is 41720. So I'm going to post the video on my Devil on Wheels account and quickly delete it as well, just after showing it to you for temporary purpose. Then in the edge you have to specify media, and then we have to start adding the query parameters. So I'm going to click on this query parameters, and the first parameter that we have to add is the video URL. So I'm going to say video underscore URL, and in order to get the value of the URL, so this is the file that we had downloaded. We'll go one node back where the URL was present. Over here this URL is present, so I'm going to use this value over here. Then I'm going to add another parameter, and this will be media underscore type, and here we are going to specify reels because it's a reel type or short type video that we are posting. Then the third parameter is caption, and we can just say testing reels feature. And finally, we can rename this to post to Instagram container. So I'll rename this. Now I'm going to click on X. So there is some error that occurred. I think the default value is not selected. So let's select this and now execute this. Alright, so the container ID is now available. This container is ready to be published. So the general recommendation is that before posting or publishing the container, because it takes some time to upload the video from the video URL, you should wait for some time. So we are going to add wait for a few seconds. So I'm going to add a wait. We can leave it as 5 seconds. I'm going to execute this. So it is going to wait for 5 seconds and run through. So now it has executed. Now it is time to publish the container that we have. But what if you want to approve the content and then only upload? So let's add a Telegram notification over here and ask for approval. So this time we are going to use send message and wait for response. So Telegram account, message, chat ID. Again, I'm going to copy the chat ID from the other node. And in the message as well, I'm going to paste the same message. Let's open this, paste the same message, and let's fix this part over here. Let's delete that. Let's go back one node. Let's go to the JSON over here and let's use this URL over here. Let's drag it. So now we have the URL coming from download final video node. Let's continue building our message to say kindly your approval posting to Instagram. And now we can add the approval type. So this should be approval type. We'll add the option over here. It should be approve and disapprove both. And we are going to rename this to seek for Instagram approval. Let's execute this step. So we would have got the message. So message has come. So this is the URL. Please kindly provide your approval for posting to Instagram. If I approve it, so let's go ahead and click on this approve. So it has approved the content. So that means approved is true now. Let's come over here and add the if node and we can drag this over here and let's call it boolean is true and we can say if Instagram approved. Let's rename this. Let's execute this and this is Instagram approved. So we are going to go back. This is where we are going to finally publish the video on our Instagram channel. So I'm going to add a Facebook node again. So let's search over here, Facebook Graph API. Let's select our long-term credential token. Let's change this to version 22.0. Node would be same. In the edge, this time we'll say media underscore publish. So this time we are publishing the media. Last time it was media where we created the container ID. And in the query parameters, we are just going to mention the creation ID, add parameter. Let's have the creation ID over here. Let's go back a couple of nodes. So this is the ID that got generated, post to Instagram. So I'm going to just drag over here. Let's rename this to post to Instagram. So if I click on execute, it is going to post the reel on my main account. Let's go ahead and open that. Let me open the Instagram. So you can see that right now I don't have any sort of reels. I'm in the reels tab over here. Let's come back. Let's execute this step now. Alright, so the content has been posted. Let's go to our Instagram account. So right now you see there is nothing over here. If I refresh it, the video should be over here and you can see that the video has been posted. You can see the caption is there and the video is running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and delete this. So that's how you have automated the entire reel publishing for Instagram in this workflow. Now let's quickly go ahead and do the same for YouTube as well. So in the second branch, I'm going to basically publish the content on the YouTube. So let me select all of them and make some space over here. So for the YouTube, there is a single step process. So we don't need this post to Instagram container tab, but definitely we should seek the approval. So I'm going to just copy these two nodes and I'm going to paste it over here. And I'm going to basically attach this over here. In this particular node, let's rename this to instead of Instagram, we can say YouTube approval. So this time we are seeking the YouTube approval. Kindly provide your approval for posting it to the YouTube. Rest of the parameters can remain same. Now let's execute this step. So you can see that the message has ringed. So over here you can see a new message has arrived. Same content is over here. Kindly provide the approval for posting it to the YouTube. So that means this node is also working fine. Now let's go back. So this is still running. So I have to come back over here and provide the approval. So let's go ahead and provide the approval. So we have provided the approval. Now let's come back. It has successfully executed. The content should be approved. So this is if Instagram approved. We can rename it to if YouTube approved. Let's rename this. Let's click on execute step. All right. So if YouTube approved. Now we can add the YouTube node. So if you search over here, so this is the YouTube node over here. We need a video action over here. So you can see that upload a video. So I'm going to use that. I have already created the credentials for one of my account, which is like High Tech Monk. It is a test dummy account that I had created. You have to just authenticate your YouTube account using the OAuth credentials. If you want to watch the dedicated video of how to create YouTube credentials for n8n, go and watch the playlist in the credential sections. But I'm going to use this. So let's keep this. Resource is going to be video. Operation will be upload. title, you can go back all the way and find the title and post it over here. I'm going to skip that part and I'm going to just say new video from n8n. Next, you have to specify the region code. So I'll just select United States. Here you can select the category name. I'm going to select something random, maybe like science and technology. In the input binary field, we need the data, but the data is not coming over here for some reason. I think it is because we had these nodes over here. That's why the data is not, or binary data is not appended to these nodes. Otherwise, in general, once you fetch the binary data, it gets associated to all the nodes that executes afterward, but that has not happened in this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this again and we are going to download the URL again. So I'm going to disconnect this. I'm going to stretch it over here. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to attach this. Let's open this. Download video again for YouTube. And here is the URL. Let's add this one. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's execute this. So this has downloaded the binary file that we need to upload to YouTube. Now I can connect this node to YouTube. So the binary data is being inputted to this YouTube node and I can rename this to upload YouTube. Now let's add some options over here. In the default language name or ID, I'll just keep it blank. In the description, this is test description. You can imagine that you can use the LLM to generate the description for the YouTube as well and also generate some of the tags and specify it over here. It is up to you how you can creatively use AI in order to automate all these aspects of it. You want to create a new title as well using the script that we already have fetched in this video. You can do that as well. You just need to provide a prompt to a basic LLM chain. It is going to produce a highly converting SEO optimized title and an SEO optimized description for your YouTube as well. But that I'll leave it as a homework for you to add into this entire workflow. The next option I would like to add is privacy status. And in the privacy status, we will just select private. We don't want this video to be made publicly available. We are just testing it out. But in your live environment, you can always specify it as public, and you can also specify when you want to basically publish. So publish at is the date and time when you want to publish the video. You can select to notify your subscriber. You can add the tags as well, and you can also specify the settings for self-declared, made for kids or not. So you can see that you have some options over here that you can keep on adding. But before I click on this execute step, let's open our YouTube channel as well. You can see that I'm currently in this high tech monk account. The content, if I go, there is nothing over here. Let's go ahead and execute this step. All right, it has been uploaded. The upload ID is mentioned over here. Now let's go ahead and refresh this page over here. And you can see that new video from n8n is over here. Let me click on it. It is still uploading. And if I click on this, let's click on the play.
Did you know that ChatGPT can actually help you code?
And you can see that we have automated the entire journey of creating a faceless YouTube channel using this entire workflow. If I go back to my channel, my workspace over here, let's go back to the canvas. Couple of things that are remaining now is basically what to do with these false nodes. So we have to basically update the status, which is like updating video status. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this over here. I'm going to attach this in the false because this time user has rejected it. So let's go ahead and update that status as well. So everything over here will remain same, but in the status column, I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete the video URL as well. I'm going to add the column called YouTube status. So over here, I'm going to say rejected by the user. And similarly, I'm going to just use this Control C, Control V, and we are going to also attach it to the approved branch as well. So let's go ahead. And in this case, we are going to say uploaded. We can ignore this error for time being. Once we'll execute the entire workflow, it is going to fix on its own. Now let's go back. And similarly, I'll add couple of nodes for my Instagram as well. So if I execute this, so this is going to again post it on my Instagram channel. This time I'm going to go ahead and reject this request. So let's go ahead and disapprove. This time I declined it. and it is going to follow this branch. So that's how we can create this entire workflow. Let me go ahead and let me save this progress, and we can see that this is how our entire workflow looks like. And let's go ahead and fix couple of more things as well. So over here, let me delete this and add a schedule trigger, because that makes more sense over here. So let's add a schedule trigger. We can configure it as running every day at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Our workflow is going to run. So let's add it over here. Let's drag this. Let's add it over here. So this is how we have configured it. So every time this is going to run, the topic is going to be fetched. I'm going to unpin this now. Let's unpin data over here as well. Let's save. Let's come back. Let's keep on unpinning everything over here. We're going to unpin this as well. So now let's go ahead and clear everything up. I have activated everything. I have unpinned everything over here. Now this workflow is ready to go. If I click on this execute workflow link, it is going to basically execute it, fetch the video topics from our Google Sheet. It is going to generate the video captions and the scripts, and then is basically going to generate the image prompts. From the image prompts, it is going to generate images, then the video. Then we are going to use the entire script to create our voiceover using the 11 labs. The video captions, the videos, as well as the voiceover all gets merged over here. And finally, we create one final output using Create-O-Mate template, and using that, we are going to download that particular file. We are going to first go through the approval process of posting it to the Instagram. So this branch is going to post it to the Instagram based on the feedback or approval received from the user. This branch is going to follow the same path, but it is going to upload the video on YouTube channel, and finally we are going to archive it, and all these steps are marking the status of the video in our Google Sheet tracker. And finally we are going to get a notification of what happened in the entire workflow with the automated faceless channel that we just created. So by this workflow, you are able to generate videos on the go without writing any single line of code, without editing any kind of video, without thinking about or without writing any kind of video scripts. Isn't that the great output that you have got out of this entire AI automation course, where we covered 6 different sections, and in 7th section we bring together everything including the AI power and generated this capstone project that can be implemented in your real life. In the last section of this course, which is section 8, I'm going to basically talk about some of the enterprise grade features of n8n. If you are interested, you can watch that, but don't miss the last chapter or last lesson, because in that lesson I'm going to provide the next steps that you can take on your journey of becoming an AI automation expert powered by n8n. So I'll see you in the next and the final section of this course.